So, good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's June 8th. It's Tools Tuesday, Topic Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. Let's start off with our daily pledge. Today is a new day. I am ready to be the best me I can be. I will listen so I can learn. I will try hard so my brain can grow. I will not give up. I can learn anything I put my mind to. You would think after reading that for the last year that I would have that completely memorized, but still little parts still slip my mind. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are you at? How did you wake up today? If you woke up feeling amazing, that's great. How are you going to use that energy for the day? If you woke up feeling really fantastic today, bottle all that energy up and use it. Get some things done. Go visit friends. Go for a walk, whatever it may be. But if you didn't wake up feeling so great today, what tools are you going to use to help yourself feel better? And you know what? Honestly, this can change 100 times throughout the day. We all know that our moods and our thoughts and just how we're feeling ebbs and flows all day long. And so you may feel really great now, and by noon you're like, I don't really know, and by 2 you feel awful, and then by 4 you feel great again. That's kind of how I feel a lot of times. So at any point in time, you may be up and down the scale all day long. And so that's why it's just really important for us to have that toolbox, to have that plan, to be able to think about ways that we're going to help ourselves differently throughout the day, because it's never the same. You may wake up feeling like a bowl full of cherries, and by the end of the day, you're not. So what are you going to do? Make sure that you're flexible and you just kind of go with that whole change, because life throws us curveballs. Stress happens. Things don't go the way we expected them to. And so any given moment you're going to feel worse. Things aren't going to be that great, or you're going to feel amazing and super happy. Whatever it is, like I said, just make sure that you are flexible and you have your toolbox with you. All right, let me put that away. So I liked this a lot and kind of went along with all of the rest of my worksheets. And I love finding little things that people talk about, different ways to make toolboxes and so on. And so I liked the top of this. It said, sometimes your day just sucks. It does, right? We know that. And if you already have issues regarding mental health, it can be really easy to really struggle. So what can you do to stop this? It says you can make a coping skills toolbox. Woo! Who would have thought? Anyways, I liked their description of a toolbox. That's why I wanted to read this, because a toolbox can be anything you want it to be, but this was just kind of a good description. They said grab a decent size box, okay? Like a shoe box, a big Tupperware box, or a storage box, okay? So grab a decent size box. They say decorate it. Use glitter, paint, ribbon, pictures, whatever. It doesn't matter what you put on it. Just get creative. It says then write down reasons not to relapse on a piece of paper and stick this on the inside lid. So maybe you get a piece of tape, and on the top of the lid of this box is what you put on there, reasons not to relapse. What is your purpose? What are your reasons in life to continue to not relapse and to manage your mental health and to work on recovery? What are those reasons? Are they for you? Are they for your family? Is it to just be happy? Is it for certain goals? What is it? So I like that. So take your reasons not to relapse and tape them to the top of the lid. Then it says fill the box with the things that will help you when you're feeling overwhelmed, sad, stressed, etc. If you are struggling to think of what to put inside, here are some examples. All right, they say coloring books, Sudoku, your favorite film, bouncy balls, bubbles, face masks, journals, bubble wrap, stress balls, grounding techniques, all of the things that we have been talking about for the last year and a half. So I like that. Honestly, something that I encourage you to do, I know that it can get a little bit spendy, but it doesn't have to be if you go to the dollar store, and truly it really depends on how creative you can be. My challenge for you today is to maybe help somebody you know. Maybe you're going to make them a toolbox if you have one, but you know somebody else would benefit from them, or you would like to gift somebody a toolbox. Maybe you make them one. Get out a shoebox, decorate it, and just start working on them and educate them and share with them. Maybe you do this for a child. Maybe you have like a preteen or a younger child at your house that could understand this box is used when we don't feel so good inside. And so maybe that's what you do today. I would love that. If you're going to spend some time inside, let's use it. Let's be productive. Let's educate other people. Let's help other people get going with a coping skills toolbox. I love it. All right. So this is the coping skills card game, okay? If you have a deck of cards, you can play this, and it's pretty simple. I liked it. So it says draw any odd number card and name a stressor. So I don't know if you're like flipping cards over. You're just going to draw random cards out of the stack. You can really, it doesn't tell you how to play this game necessarily. It just tells you if you get certain cards, you're going to talk about things. So if you draw a number card, you're going to name a stressor. If you draw an even number card, okay, so I got to back up. If you draw an odd number card, name a stressor. If you draw an even number card, name a coping skill. If you draw a face card, like a Jack, King, Queen, name someone you can talk to when you're feeling stressed. And if you draw an ace, it says, ace, give me space. Name a place you can go when you're feeling stressed. So this is kind of an interesting card game. You can just do it sitting at your chair, whatever it may be, just drawing different cards. It gives you something to think about. You can name stressors. You can name people that are supportive and name places that you're going. So that's the coping skills card game. I like that. All right, this was just a good one. If you certain worksheets, again, it's just good for us to have reminders. The stop skill. Stop, freeze, don't react, stay in control. Sometimes when we're upset or we're anxious, whatever it may be, we need to stop. We need to take a break. We need to take a step back. Don't react off of how you're feeling if you're overwhelmed and you're stressed. So that's for the S. The T is take a break. Take a step back, take a deep breath, avoid letting your feelings make you impulsive. Sometimes, did I print that one off? I might not have printed that worksheet off. The CBT triangle, how we think is how we feel is how we act. So remember, if we can change how we're thinking, it's going to change how we're feeling, and we're going to react a lot better. And sometimes we just need to take a step back, do our pros and cons list, or evaluate our thought process. So that's take a break. Oh, and stop is observe. Take note of the situation inside and out. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling? What are people doing? What's causing you this distress? And the P and stop is proceed mindfully. To decide what to do, think of the situation and other thoughts and feelings, your goals, be in the wise mind, be aware of your actions. Truly, stop is a skill that every single one of us could use multiple times a day. If you're overwhelmed or you have things going on, stressors, and maybe you just have a lot going on for that day, using stop, just freeze, take a break, take a step back, observe, proceed mindfully. Remember, your thoughts control your feelings that control your actions. So if we can have better thoughts, we're going to react differently, and the whole triangle is a whole different story. So that's stop. Don't forget stop. Maybe you make yourself a little stop sign, you color it, you put it in your coping skill toolbox to remind you to stop. So we don't react poorly, we handle situations more wisely, and we remember to keep ourselves in control. I thought this was cute. This is a great thing for your coping skills. So this is self-care mixtape. Now, does anybody remember a cassette tape? I'm assuming most of you do. When I've talked to my kids about a cassette tape, they're like, what's that? Like it's an old school 8-track or something like that. Anyway, so this is a mixtape. Music is therapeutic. Music is good for the soul. It's good for the mind. It's good for the body. I love music. Music is probably one of my biggest ways of decompressing and reducing any anger or anxiety or sadness, whatever it may be. Music is my go-to. So this is just simply making a list. If you are feeling sad, what are you going to listen to? If you're feeling mad, what are you going to listen to? So making your own mixtape. What songs would you have on your mixtape? And I think this is great, and I think you should write this down, and I think you should put this in your coping skills toolbox. When you're having a bad day, get out your mixtape thing and think about all the songs that you could listen to that are going to make you feel better. A Walkman. I love the Walkman. Yeah, I used to have one of those. So what are you going to do? It doesn't even have to be about when you're sad, mad, happy, or whatever. Just make a list of songs that make you feel a certain way that you enjoy. Hopefully there's songs that make you feel happy and smile. We don't want to make more songs that are going to make us feel awful. But what is your self-care mixtape? Make your mixtape. What are your songs on there? What's your jam? I'd have a lot of Journey on there. I wanted to bring this one back up because I love this worksheet. And again, you can never hear things enough. It's always good to revisit them and keep reinstating it in your mind, because that's how it's going to stick. But I like this guy. Remember, this was a worksheet a long time ago. It said, believe that with a snap of a finger, you could change yourself. What would that look like? Who would you be if you could snap your finger? Many of us talk about the things we wish we had, or the goals you wish you could work on, or the things you wish you could do. So if you could snap your finger, what would that look like? Who would you be? What would you become? And what holds you back from that? Something about just thinking about our mindset. Maybe in all reality, you're happy with certain things, but if you could tweak those things, what gets in the way of that? Why can't you do that now? A lot of people say that I can't, but remember the power of yet. I can't do that yet. So again, if you could snap your fingers, what would be different? And if you can't make it different, why not? What's in the way? Is it your thinking? Is it finances? Is it supports? Is it resources? And if those are the cases, then maybe we need to reach out to our arms worker or your support team, your family, whatever it may be, and they can help you find the resources that you need to make some of those changes. But a lot of times it comes within ourselves. If we don't think we can, we won't. So if you have a whole list of things that you say you can't change about yourself, we need to change that. The next one is, what is your happy place? This is kind of a nice thing to put in your coping skills toolbox because it's a good thing to look at. It's a good reference and a good resource to pull out and say, what is my happy place? Bring me there, take me there. I want to go to my happy place. I'm overwhelmed, I'm super anxious, or I'm feeling really depressed today. I want to go to my happy place. So up at the top it says, a happy place is a location where you feel the calmest and most relaxed. For some people, this can be the beach or the woods or your room. Whenever you become anxious, sad, or angry, it can be helpful to imagine yourself in this place. The more details that you can imagine as you close your eyes, the more helpful your happy place will be at calming you down. So up at the top, it says, where is your happy place? What is it? Where is it? Where are you going? You're going to the beach? You're going to a tropical island? Where are you going? So it says, where is your happy place? And then in the bubbles around her head, it says, what kind of sounds do you hear on your happy place? Do you hear like birds? Do you hear waves crashing? What do you hear in your happy place? Okay, so what sounds? The next bubble says, how are you feeling? When you're at the beach, listening to waves, how are you feeling? Do you see how this is really creating a picture? The more definition that you can have, the more description that you can have, the more beneficial your happy place is going to be. It's going to be easier to go there because you have the details already laid out. So how are you feeling? I bet you're feeling like $1 million. What can you smell or taste? Maybe you're having a margarita or a daiquiri or you're having a 7-Up, whatever it may be, on the beach, and you can smell the waves and the ocean, and maybe you can smell, I don't know what you can smell, but maybe it just smells really amazing. What can you feel or touch? Maybe you can feel the warm sand between your toes and the soft towel you're laying on in your chair. And what things do you see? Maybe you see like beautiful cliffs in the ocean, and maybe you see a dolphin in the distance. I don't know. But anyways, the more description you can have of your happy place, the better off it will be to go there. So write down your stuff, all the details you could think of. Really just design this beautiful place and put it in your coping skills toolbox so that when you need to go there, you have it there. It's going to be easier to bring up in your mind. You're just going to feel better, and you could just go there, and it's going to be calming faster. Your happy place. Last but not least, before we're done here, my worry cloud. How many of you are a worry wart? Worrying really just increases our symptoms of anxiety and depression and fear and worry and stress and overwhelming and anger and sad, whatever else that I'm forgetting, and frustrated and confused. And so when we stop worrying, or at least figure out ways to deal with our worry, the hope is that we can kind of continue to decrease our symptoms. So this should be in your toolbox as well. What's in your worry cloud? Maybe you do this for every worried thought that you have. You just write it down, and then you write bubbles around it of what you're going to do about it. It says write down what's in your worry cloud, then write down things you can do to help get that cloud to be smaller. What do you worry about? What's in here? And then what are you going to do to help yourself feel better? All right, so we were just in our happy place, but before our happy place, we were probably sitting on our worry cloud. We don't want to be there. What are you going to do? Maybe one of your circles is go to your happy place so we can get out of our worry cloud. Look at all these little descriptions that we have. I like to put different thoughts on different feelings and different situations because it's just easier to pick up and say, I'm sitting on my worry cloud today. What am I going to do about that? How am I going to make things better? So write down things on your worry cloud and write down ways that you're going to make it better and put that in your coping skills toolbox. Okay, one more. This is anxiety versus truth. It's kind of the same concept as the worry cloud. But what are you anxious about and what's the truth? Now remember, we talked about catch it, check it, change it. You're thinking. Catch the thought, check it, and change it. Because a lot of times when we're anxious, we have made a worry something that it's not. We have made it into a mountain of problems that it really never started out to be, but because we have an automatic thoughts, remember ants, automatic negative thoughts, ants, those nasty little ants that we smash, then it makes it worse, and we just make it into this huge problem that it's not. So what are you anxious about, and what is the truth? If you're anxious that everybody's going to make fun of you when you show up at the party, what's the reality? Maybe 2 people will. Does it matter? Who cares? But anyways, that's just an example. Or maybe you're worried about finances next month. Well, what is the reality? Do you need to worry about finances? Or is this just one of those automatic negative thoughts that pop into your head and are unnecessary? And so write down your anxieties and then write down the truth behind it. Do this when you're not feeling anxious because you're going to be in your right mind and it's going to be easier for you to think about things that make you anxious, and then write down the truth. And then put this in your coping skills toolbox, so when you're having one of them days and all them automatic negative thoughts are out there, you can go to your paper and you can say, okay, I was anxious about this, but I know the truth is this. Because the more we can train our brain to think differently, the better off we're going to be. Remember, the brain tricks us. The brain has every opportunity to be trained and molded into whatever we want it to be. So either A, you're going to allow negative thoughts to keep making things worse for you, or we're going to make some changes and we're going to stomp out those ants and we're going to start putting in different things that we can think about, facts checking, pros and cons list, the truth, gathering evidence, whatever it may be. So what are you anxious about? What is the truth? What's on your worry cloud? And what are you going to do about it? What's in your happy place? What does it look like? What does it smell like? What do you got going on? Every single detail you can think of. If you could snap your finger and be different tomorrow, what would be differently, and why does that hold you back? What are the things that are preventing you from being that person or doing the things that you want to do? What is your self-care mixtape? Write down songs that make you feel wonderful. We're going to put all of this stuff in our toolbox. Remember our stop sign. Stop. Stop. Take a break. Observe. Proceed. Mindfully. Okay? Our coping skills card game. Put a deck of cards in there so you could talk about your stressors, your coping skills, and who's going to help you through them. And last but not least, if you already have a coping skills toolbox, I encourage you to make somebody else one. Educate them about it. Get a shoebox, get a storage box, decorate it, whatever it may be. Start giving them the tools that they need to make their own toolbox and spread the message of the importance of having that for any point in time to help you feel better. So, happy Tuesday. It's going to be hot out. Make sure you're eating your 3 meals a day. Make sure you're drinking lots of water, especially water, because it's going to help us to not feel icky on these days when it's super hot. But most importantly, work on your toolbox. Decorate it. Make one for someone else. But keep filling it up with lots of tools. And we'll see you tomorrow morning for Wellness Wednesday. Have a great day.